Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 59 of the In From Japan podcast, the podcast where we talk about the latest news on Japan-developed games and other things in relation to them. Available on YouTube and in most places podcasts can be found. We have just a little bit of housekeeping. We do have a reacts to the New Games Plus Expo, so go check that out on our YouTube channel. We will be talking about it in this podcast as well, so you can hear some of our expanded thoughts. But without further ado, as always, I'm your host, Erroll Moss, with my co-host, the phenomenon from Suriname, Jason Corder.
Hey, hey.
And today we have a very special guest, Jacob McCourt.
Hello, that's me. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
Hey.
yeah, of course.
Thanks for coming by.
I think you're the first person who actually asked to be on. And I was like,
yeah, well,
yeah.
I mean, we're both part of the GameSpot community, and so I've seen you and your content for a long time. So I was like, let's do something together. So here we are doing it.
Yeah. So for those
uninformed,
yeah.
Who is Jacob McCourt? What does Jacob McCourt do, and what is his favorite food?
I was gonna say ice cream.
Oh, that works.
Okay, so by day, I work for a marketing agency. We do gaming and esports stuff. By night, I am a content creator. I make two podcasts. One, the Left Behind Game Club. It is a video game book club podcast that.
I thought you were gonna say you're Batman.
Oh,
by night.
I'm Batman. By night, I'm Batman. No, I mean that would be cool. Yeah, so I do that one, and then I do another one called Cutscenes. It's a video game movie podcast where we watch video game movies. Most of them are very bad, and we have fun talking about them.
I'm gonna need to talk to you about that after.
A lot of them are very bad. And then as far as food goes, I have celiac disease, which means I cannot eat wheat because it kills my insides. So I've moved back to vanilla ice cream. I used to be a big chocolate chip cookie dough fan, but given that, cookie dough destroys me on the inside, I'll have to go with French vanilla.
It's still a good flavor. I know people say it's basic, but it's still good. It's
delicious.
Why did that vanilla became the term for basic? But vanilla is still a good flavor.
It's a good ass flavor.
You could do worse.
So,
there's salad flavored ice cream, okay?
Thank you. And again, thank you for having me on tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. So we're going to get into the Japanese games we've been playing. So we'll let our guests go first.
Yeah, so I have been playing exactly one Japanese video game. And that is a 1-year-old video game from Goodfeel called Yoshi's Crafted World.
Aw.
Yeah.
I need to know, have y'all played this game?
No, I know of it, but I haven't had the time.
I played a little bit of the demo. As much as I love Yoshi, for some reason, I could never get into that one.
Yeah, I mean, my partner and I are playing it kind of 1 or 2 levels at a time. Like, we're just, casually making it through. And it shares a lot of the aesthetic of, Yoshi's Woolly World, which is a game on the Wii U. And then Kirby's Epic Yarn, which came out on the
It's a little different,
Wii.
though, right? It's more felt than yarn.
Yeah, 100%. And so imagine, things are made of felt and things are made of cardboard rather than things being made of yarn. It is super adorable. It is a 2.5D, side-scrolling platformer with 3D characters. You move, between elements in the level. So let's say, there's a background, and in the background there are enemies to shoot. You will walk through like a cardboard house that will fold down as you're going through it. It is a bit shallow from a gameplay perspective. It is a very one-note video game. It is hey, do you want to travel through this level? Thankfully there's co-op, so I'm playing it with my partner. But do you want to go through this level and just collect some coins? Do you want to jump around as Yoshi? Do you want to throw eggs? Do you remember Yoshi's Island? That, but very easy. If that's your thing, Yoshi's Crafted World is interesting and fun, but it's pretty shallow to be honest. It was on sale for I think $50 at Christmas. I grabbed it and we're playing through it now, and it's not something I could recommend to everybody.
Yeah.
But it's a game that it's fun, like in small doses.
Like a fun, easy co-op game.
100%. It is a great co-op game to play with a friend or with a partner. It's a lot of fun.
It feels like it's like geared towards younger audiences.
And,
it's like baby's first starter platformer, if that makes sense.
Totally.
Did that come across to you, or is it like something that could have had much more depth to it and a bit more variation to the gameplay?
Yeah, I totally agree with that assessment of it. Like, I think it is very much like a great game. If you had like a 7-year-old son or daughter, you would be like, hey, why don't you play this game with me? Because it's easy, it's fun in small doses, and there's a lot of like cool collectible elements. So you'll collect these like cardboard, like, I don't want to call them cars, but they're like costumes made out of cardboard for your Yoshi that you get out of like a little gumball machine. And collecting those in little capsules is like the funnest part of this game, just because your Yoshi will be in like a cardboard train, or like he'll wear a little cardboard hat, and it's adorable. So if you have a kid, like, absolutely, this is a great game to play with like a 6 or 7-year-old. It is just like a game that if you, I don't want to say if you're a gamer, but like if
you're
you
a true
enjoy,
gamer.
only true gamers only. No, it's more just like not for everybody, and like great co-op. I can't imagine playing this game like by yourself if you like play any sort of games. If you're a gamer, this game will probably bore you a little bit.
No, okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been playing Japanese wise, y'all.
It's
nice.
It's hard because with those Yoshi games, it's like what? I don't think anything will ever compare to the original Yoshi's Island. You know?
Yeah, I would put that one up with my favorite games of all time. I just think of like the first time you go in the castle and you throw eggs at a slime monster to shrink them. Like, that's the sort of stuff that I remember.
The second time you go in a castle.
That is
not to be that guy.
Played it even more. Like, hey, second time actually. No, totally. But I remember that boss.
The first
battle.
was the dude, the balloon guy with underpants.
Yes. The circus man with the underpants.
I believe his name is Bert.
Oh, Bert. Yeah, that first game is unreal.
But I also have a soft spot for Yoshi's Story, and a lot of people don't like that one. Anyway, moving on to what I've been playing. I'm still playing the same things I was playing last week. So first, Dragon Quest Tact. The Dragon Quest 1 event unfortunately ended, so I couldn't finish it. But they have a Slime Fest event now, and I'm nearly done. I did most of the normal quest, and then now all I have left is the boss quest, and then I could go to the hard mode event quest. But my team CP isn't quite enough yet. And I got another S rank monster for my team. It was a a metal dragon. And that's really it for Dragon Quest Tact so far. Just to keep doing some story missions. Play it a little bit every morning. Got to get those login bonuses on those gacha games. You know what I mean?
That's an iOS gacha game, right?
It's on iOS and Android. Yeah, it's on both.
Yeah, it's on both.
Okay.
If you like collecting monsters and playing strategy games and not having to do much, and you don't mind being it, and putting it on auto mode doesn't scare you, I recommend it.
That is so many qualifiers, but I'll have to check this out.
Real quick, Erroll, did you also play Dragon Quest to the Stars? The other mobile game?
I a little bit, but it never. I was never able to get into it as much.
Okay.
On that one article I'm working on, I talk a little bit about that.
Oh, cool.
And then I've been playing Code Vein via Game Pass still. Since the last podcast, I have not beaten 1, not 2, but 3 bosses.
Well, there you go.
So the first one that I was fighting was this lady in a swamp, this tall lady in a swamp area. She was like a pole dancer, and she used her spear to like fly around and she was really fast. She took a couple tries.
Okay.
Sorry, you said tall lady. You have my attention.
So she took a couple tries, but leveled up, got used to her attacks, and then the one after that was a like a butterfly lady with like a demon caterpillar tail, and
As you would, yeah.
and she was only hard because of she had poison. And even with the anti-venom stuff, that resistance only lasts so long. The time I actually defeated her, I actually didn't use venom resistance at all. So I just like kind of got used enough to her attacks and then just did it. And then the third one was like this kind of wolf-like berserker thing, and I beat him on the first try.
Oh, look at you flexing.
Code Vein is not that hard compared to other Souls-like games.
Well, yeah, I was gonna ask you that. Like, how close is it to a Souls-like game?
I mean, it still has a lot of similar systems, but it's much more. It's much less challenging. I feel like there's still some challenge there. I don't want people to like write it off because I think that's why a lot of people wrote it off in the first place, was that plus the anime aesthetic. But you know, that's what kept me interested. That's what keeps me going in it. And also, it has, not that Souls games don't have stories, but it's like it has an actual like
it's
narrative
not as
type of thing, like dialogue, and there are like dialogue cutscenes where you find out about certain characters and stuff.
It's not as esoteric or obtuse as a Soulsborne game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it.
And that's why I like it. And then just the world and lore I really like. It's almost like a post-apocalyptic Tokyo Ghoul in a way, because your group is a bunch of people called revenants, which are essentially vampires, but they're vampires who kept their
humanity.
Not necessarily humanity, because they don't like. There's a reason they won't call it that, but but like they're at least their consciousness, like, because the all the other ones affected by the, what was it called? What is it? What do they call it in the game? Not the tragedy. I forgot what they call it, but there was a big apocalyptic event that like changed the whole landscape and what caused all of the revenants and all the enemies, which are known as the Lost, which are mostly former humans who, you know, lost their humanity completely.
It's kind of like, I don't know if you know the anime show Blood Plus, where there is... Oh,
yeah, I watched a little bit of that a while ago.
Yeah, there's a distinction between like normal vampires as we know them and Chiroptera, which are like beast-like vampires.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. And it has like, it's funny because there's like a record player and there's like 2 or 3 songs by this band called Vamp, and it's like very, I don't want to say goth, but this kind of like rock music, like it's like, yeah, this game knows what it is. Like a Hot Topic mid 2000s music. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
It's like Evanescence.
It's
not, basically.
But I wish it was. not that the music in question is bad. Like I still like the music. But that's the other thing. So the music, that music is only in your home base. But I do like the score, like the actual game music, a lot too, because sometimes you're looking at, when you unlock certain, you pick up these certain pieces of different people's memories, and then this one girl you go to because viewing those memories actually give you like specific boosts to certain things. Like one will raise evasiveness, or one will raise something else, raise the amount of damage you do. But you have to view, you know, whatever person had that class, because it's organized by blood code is what class is called, but But
specific.
whatever person's memories that is,
Mm-hmm.
that's or whatever person class it is, like it's their memories you're looking at. So if those characters
Okay.
are there in your home base, they'll talk to you after for a little bit and be like, because they lost some of their memories too.
Oh, that's cool.
Got it. Okay.
And
cool.
it just has really nice like I just really like the piano music in those sections, even though sometimes those sections can be long because it's one of those things where it's like you're in a dream sequence. You're viewing the memories, but you're still walking around, and that's kind of all you can do. And you have to wait until it like one part plays out to get to the next part. So it can be a little annoying, but it's nice that it can add some extra context, and there's at least an incentive to do that.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I've barely been playing Persona 5 Strikers. I'm not even done with the first jail yet.
Okay, so why barely?
Because it for some reason it's just it keeps doing this thing where it's like, oh, you like we should head back. Like it keeps wanting me to take breaks even when I haven't played for that long, and it's just something about it and the stamina system. Maybe it just hasn't clicked yet. Again, since I'm only in the first jail, I'm just so much more interested in Code Vein right now.
Maybe put it on the back burner and then revisit it when you're fully done with Code Vein.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Tell me, because this is a specific type of game. What's the name of the type of game this is, and how is this different than like regular like P5R?
Oh, it's a Musou game or a Dynasty Warriors game, and it's action combat rather than turn-based. But
got it.
It does still have a lot of the Persona 5 systems. You still can obtain personas and fuse them, and you still have all the attacks, and you're still doing a lot of the same stuff. It's just the gameplay itself, like the direct gameplay, is a bit different.
Yeah, so it's like the fundamentals are Musou, like Dynasty Warriors, but on top of that, you have the mechanics of the Persona weaknesses from the Persona games, where you exploit them and then get bonus attacks, and
you're just fighting
like,
a bunch more attacks at once.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a shameful admission, and that is that despite buying a PlayStation Vita to play P4 Golden, I have never done that.
Well, it's on PC now.
Yeah, it is.
P4 Golden is probably my favorite out of the series because of the small town atmosphere, and the murder mystery surrounding it all. I really recommend you play it whenever you get the chance to, because it's a really special game. Some parts might not hold up to current standards, but I think there's still enough to enjoy.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll finally get into it. Who knows? Maybe this is the kick in the butt I need.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, what have you been playing?
Okay, I'll start from the smaller stuff and work my way up. I started Project Triangle Strategy. It's beautiful. The music is beautiful. It is so beautiful. I want this beautiful game in my hands immediately, but alas, I have to wait a year. I haven't more. I haven't really like delved into it, like the battle mechanics and whatnot, because I'll get into that later. So I can't really give it my fair assessment, because I want to know, will I like this more than, say, Tactics Ogre or Final Fantasy Tactics, which I reinstalled recently, or even Fire Emblem. So I'm really interested to get to look at that. Maybe I'll write something about that as well. Moving on, I've also started playing Romancing Saga Re-Universe, which is the most Square Enix name ever.
That's a mobile game, right?
Yes, it is a mobile game. I was looking forward to playing Romancing Saga 2 or 3 or Scarlet Grace, because of something we might be doing in the future.
Yeah.
But I didn't really have the time for a full game, so I downloaded the mobile title. It's very interesting, because it feels like a 16-bit RPG, but in bite-sized chunks, it's not as egregious as other free-to-play gacha mobile games. It's they say this a lot in the interviews that they have around this game, is that they really want to make it a true free-to-play game. It's probably also because Romantic Saga isn't like a brand name here, or really.
Yeah, they've really been going hard on it lately.
Yeah, lately, yes, but it's not as big as, say, Persona or Final Fantasy
or Dragon Quest even.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that gives them a bit of more leeway to stick closer to traditional gameplay design, and it's really interesting. And the music is really great and epic and sweeping. And the only thing I knock against it is that it is. If you know Romantic Saga or any of the other Saga games, you know that series is known for being weird and esoteric. And the same can be said about the mobile game, because they don't really explain the mechanics. It's really like, okay, you're a big boy. I trust you with these fingers. Just go wild. Have fun. We'll see you on the other side. Oh, you died? Oh, too bad. Try again. It's really interesting. I think everyone should at least play it once to get a taste of how JRPGs in a mobile form can be done. But yeah, it's a really cool game. And besides that, the most time I've spent recently is in Final Fantasy XIV. And I'm afraid to admit that I have become that person in the friend group who recommends Final Fantasy XIV to others.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
I kind of have like 4 days left on my subscription, so I'm trying to max it out. But I don't know why Yoshi P just won't let me go to Heavensward, because I'm still in A Realm Reborn.
Well, you can buy the skip pass, can't you? That's what I did.
Yeah, sure, but I'm already done with the main story quest, so it really wouldn't make sense to buy the skip pass now to hurry up to the next
it's just
expansion.
because the post base game stuff is so boring and so long.
No, so this is the interesting thing.
So I did that back then.
Yeah, I know. Usually when I'm talking about a video game, I always want it to have an epilogue when I enjoy it, because I want to wind down with the characters. I want to see how they react to the status quo being changed. Like maybe a main character died, and how do they kind of react to that setting? So they did that for Final Fantasy XIV, which is really cool.
Yeah.
The problem is, if I played this like years ago, together with everyone else, and in anticipation of Heavensward, it would be the coolest setup ever.
Yeah.
You have politics, you have dungeons, you have primals, really cool stuff. But the problem is, everyone keeps talking to high heavens of how cool Heavensward is. It just makes you feel this real sense of FOMO, because you want to get there but you can't get there, and you're trying to get there, but Final Fantasy XIV won't let you. And it got so bad, like, I don't know if you saw my tweet, like 2 days ago, I was playing hide and seek in one of the missions. Like, and you know that what's his name again? Eric Andre, I think.
Yeah.
The meme where he's like, "Let me in."
Yeah.
I was that for a full hour. Like, it's so frustrating, but it's so good. Yeah. I just want to get to the next part. Just Yoshi P, let me go to the next part, please.
So I actually played I did a few quests in Final Fantasy XIV, because they were just kind of a little bit of going back and forth before a big battle. And once it got to a big battle, it was like, oh, there are going to be a lot of cutscenes, so you might need to you need to set aside a bit of time. And I was like, well, it's getting late, so I'll stop here for now. Yeah,
that's something I also have to take in account, because the bigger dungeons are almost an hour to 2 hours. But if you're with a good group, it can be a breeze.
Yeah.
So you don't really have to worry about that.
Can I ask just a quick question? So
Sure.
I've been very curious about this game. You know, Michael B. Higham talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
I watched the Nope Clip documentary, which was fascinating to watch a team have to like rebuild a game from scratch while it's live.
Mm-hmm.
What's the pitch when you talk to people about this game very passionately? How do you say, man, Final Fantasy XIV is a game that you need to play?
It's definitely the best MMO I've ever played, I think. And I'm not saying that for story reasons, because I don't think the story is all that great. But it's just like I've had a lot of fun playing with friends, and just it has a good, at least from my experience, the game seems to have grown a pretty good community.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you're doing dungeon runs with people you don't know, some people can at least be understanding.
Yeah.
If it's your first time doing a dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. To add to that, it's the most solo-friendly MMORPG ever.
Yeah.
Which sounds counterintuitive, but if you have, like me, a lot of anxiety about interacting with other people, you can just go at it by yourself. Only for dungeons and high-level content, you maybe need 3 other people at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not so bad. You just tell them, hey, first timer in this dungeon, go easy on me, and they'll be super understanding about that.
Yeah.
Even explain the dungeon mechanics to you, and really be forgiving for any screw ups you make.
It's also Oh no, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
No, I was gonna say a counter to Erroll saying the story is not that great. I'll say the story
That's just my opinion. I'm not like.
Yeah, I'll give a counter and say the story is. It takes a while, but when it heats up and the plot twists keep coming, oh boy!
Has a lot of
and you see that
downs.
And you see that dragon at the end of the first, like at the end of the base game, you'll be like, oh boy,
like
I gotta go.
So
I gotta keep going.
Let me clarify. I do think the story is good. I just don't think it's this like amazing thing like that a lot of people seem to think it is.
It's very standard fare JRPG stuff.
I do like a lot of the
Fantasy
characters though, so I can see where maybe because a lot of the characters are pretty likable, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I can see where maybe that helps.
Yeah, the characters are really good. They grow on you. They have their own little moments. And Ash Parrish of Kotaku is chronicling her like her first steps through the game up to the end of the first not the first expansion, like the base game, and you might want to read on her read through her work to get a sense of what everyone is feeling at the moment, and it's a really fun ride. And if you ever decide to take the first step, we'll be right here if you need a helping hand. And we're totally not selling you any drugs here. It's just server. A fun game, man. Yeah.
You're like, here's my referral code, which gets me time off my subscription.
So
I just can't believe that some are. This is like a broader MMORPG thing. That in this year of 2021, some companies are still charging money for MMOs. Like, given how free-to-play models have become so pervasive, it just blows my mind that some people can still charge for MMORPGs. And I get it, but I also don't.
The fun thing with Final Fantasy is the base game and the first expansion are totally free to play, with limitations, of course.
Yeah.
But if you don't have any money to spend on it, or if you just want to experiment with it, try it, then by all means, it's free to play. Give it a try.
Here's the thing: game development still costs a lot of money, so I'm not gonna blame developers if their MMO isn't free to play. But it would be nice if there was always a section that was free to play. You know, like the way Final Fantasy XIV. Because Final Fantasy XIV didn't always have a free section. I don't think.
No, it didn't. It started a bit after A Realm Reborn. You could play free up to level 30, and now you can play free up to level 60. So that's a whole lot of content. It's at the very least 70 hours of gameplay.
Yeah. All right. So, and then the one last thing about Final Fantasy 14 is it's also the only MMO where I've constantly run into like friends and stuff while we were doing like different things. Like we'd be like running past each other and be like, "Oh, hey, I actually was just randomly questing by myself one night, and I saw Michael Higham character just like sitting on a bridge." And he was like, and I was like, "Hey, yo, I think I found your character." And he's like, "Oh, you did? I fell asleep."
That's incredible.
But yeah, it's like the first MMO that I've had an experience where like I've actually run into people I know without meaning to. Like, I feel like back in the days when I played RuneScape, I'd be like, okay, so what, where are you? What, where, who, huh? I don't know. It's just it might just be a weird coincidence. Or just because of the way the world is and the way the quests are. Because there's a lot of going back and forth. So that's probably bound to happen. Alright, so moving on to the In From Japan J-List. Recent video game related entertainment news. PlayStation Store to discontinue movie and TV purchases and rentals on August 31st. This is by Saruman for Uematsu. Users can still access movie and TV content they have purchased. The PlayStation Store will no longer offer movie and television purchases and rentals as of August 31st, Sony Interactive Entertainment announced. We've seen tremendous growth from PlayStation fans using subscription-based and ad-based entertainment streaming services on our consoles. With this shift in customer behavior, we have decided to no longer offer movie and TV purchases and rentals through PlayStation Store as of August 31st, 2021. Which makes sense. I noticed that the other day when I was on my PS5 and I was like, wait, there's no movie and TV section. And also, there's no Crackle app.
It's probably the least selling section of their store, so it kind of makes sense.
I did get...
Truly, I don't understand why like platform holders still need to sell, because Microsoft like has a great anime section.
Yeah.
They sell other video content.
You can even get some of those anime free on Game Pass like half the time.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. Like getting free Dragon Ball and free
One Piece.
One Piece, yeah, exactly. I don't understand, and this is probably why Sony shuts down their service. But I guess the one question I think about as a consumer is like, this just shows me that when I buy digital, nothing I buy is actually owned by me, because they can just easily pull it down.
You still keep it.
Right, you just won't be able to buy new stuff.
Yeah.
But you'll be able to access, well, at least, that's better than some services that actually like pull your license and you can't watch it at all.
So yeah, I did like some of the sales they had in the movie and TV sections. I mean, I got Your Name for $2 like one time. They were just having like a huge sale on it for some reason.
Yeah. I do want to mention that it's geo restricted for me, so if any of my local people are listening to this and thinking they'll buy anime on Microsoft Store, don't. You're just going to run into heartbreak, because there's a copy of
Somebody call Phil Spencer
on the Microsoft Store that I own that I can't watch because geo restrictions. But yeah, I digress.
We need to call Big Phil. Big Phil needs a call right
Big
now.
Phil. Hey.
Hey, I'll become the biggest Microsoft shill if they open it up for us.
Next story is Kaiju number 8 manga has 1.2 million copies printed and sold, fastest in Shonen Jump Plus history. The second volume of Naoya Matsumoto's digital series released today in Japan. This is from Daryl Harding for Crunchyroll News. At the release of the second volume of Naoya Matsumoto's Shonen Jump Plus manga series, Kaiju number 8 in Japan today, the editor revealed on Twitter that the series has had a total physical print run of 1 million copies over the 2 volumes, and counting the volumes sold digitally, that number rises to 1.2 million copies printed and sold in less than a year since publishing began. And it just started its run last July.
Yeah, Kaiju number 8 is really good.
Yes.
It's really funny, fun, action-packed. The panels flow well. It's
And the
It's a
nice thing is
really
the mangaka, he's not like, he takes a break every couple weeks. Like it's like every other week or so.
It's because this is part of Shonen Jump's new like initiative where they're trying to push manga more to the digital forefront and not because this isn't in print, if I'm not mistaken. It's digital only.
Besides the physical volumes.
Yeah, besides the physical volume. So they're trying to experiment with this and give their mangaka and artists a bit more time and kind of leeway to make art, which is really great because if you know anything about the manga and anime industry, it's that it's really grueling and time consuming and bad for your health, some would say. So this is a great thing to see happen.
Also, the nice thing is like every I want to say every other chapter, there's still, even when there's not a new chapter, there will be like a chapter 25.1 and it's just a bit of art from the previous chapters. And that's just nice to look at. It's
really like a nice in between snack for when you kind of want a new chapter but aren't getting a new chapter, and it's really great. The
one thing
I think this
we're probably not, it's a little, because that makes the kind of the story a little slower, so it's probably going to be a while until we see an anime adaptation. But with sales like this, we are definitely seeing an anime adaptation at some point.
Yeah, Summertime Rendering is the first one from the digital manga selection that's getting an anime adaptation. So this is probably, since it's doing so well, it's probably the next one up for that consideration.
I think it's just because of the speed it goes at, I think it might take a little longer.
Yeah.
And you can read some of the volumes for free if you wanna check it out. Right?
Well, not the volumes. The most recent chapter, the most recent 2 chapters, I believe.
It depends. You have the.
I read it on the Shonen Jump app, and the Shonen Jump app itself is only $2 a month. App. So it's not like you're breaking the bank or anything.
Yeah. You have the Shonen Jump app, you have Viz Media, and you have Manga Plus. And depending on which title or which service you use, all the chapters could be free to read. And if not, then it's like the first 3 are free to read, and the last most recent, 7 or so are free to read.
It depends. It usually depends on the series and on the service and stuff. But I prefer Shonen Jump Plus.
Yeah, for me it's the Manga Plus app, because
I just keep
the
up
global
weekly.
One. Yeah.
And our last story on the J list, which is also kaiju related, if you haven't noticed, I'm a big kaiju fan. Pacific Rim: The Black anime series out on Netflix US today. So, good. I'm always excited for more of that. Next, we're gonna go through recommended content real quick. Content other than news from the past week listed out. Links in the description. We have preview: Story of Seasons, Pioneers of Olive Town prioritizes plotting by Jenni Lada for Siliconera. How the creator of Final Fantasy is evolving the classic RPG with Fantasian by our senpai Michael Higham over at GameSpot. Final Fantasy series creator talks Uematsu's involvement in Fantasian by Kazuma Hashimoto for Siliconera. Anniversary: Nintendo Switch launched 4 years ago today this was from yesterday, but by Ryan Craddock for Nintendo Life. And interview: Junzo Hozoi says Atelier Ryza 3 depends on everyone's support by Jenni Lada for Siliconera. And next, it is time for the news rundown. So for the baddest news, I'll let our Shinigami take it away.
Yes, Bankai. First up, we have Bandai Namco withdraws from amusement facilities business in North America. This is by, where is the name? Alex Mateo for Anime News Network. Bandai Namco Holdings announced on Monday that it will withdraw from the amusement facilities business, specifically owning and operating arcades and smaller entertainment centers in North America. The company's board of directors decided on February 19th that it would transfer the businesses and related fixed assets of 34 directly owned locations, 1 large directly owned location, and 760 revenue shared locations to 3 companies on March 31st, the end of the fiscal year. Bandai Namco did not name the 3 companies, but it stated that the companies have no capital, personnel, or transactional relationship with the company and are not related parties. The company concluded an agreement with business buyers on Saturday. If you want the full details, click on the article.
Yeah, it's just
All right.
This more arcade stuff going away, basically.
Yeah, it's pandemic related probably, and they're not really seeing a big return on investments.
In America, we didn't have that many anyway. Besides Dave and Buster's and a few random things here and there.
Yeah, they were opening barcades like 2 years ago, and I don't know if they're still alive at this point.
Yeah, I get worried about my local one because that was a fun place to go to.
Yeah, I similarly, we have a chain, I'm in Canada, we have a chain called The Rec Room, which is owned by Cineplex, the largest, cinema company in the country. And so, if you're in the cinema and arcade business, your business is probably bad this year.
Yeah.
So, they're still going to sell arcade games, I guess, in North America, but this just takes them owning arcades and entertainment centers and kind of gets rid of it. That's a lot of locations.
I do hope at some point after... Once this whole pandemic settles down, that there's a little bit of a return. I mean, obviously we don't need a huge boom of that, but I hope there's at least a little bit of a return for at least the retro themed barcades.
Yeah, two fun things. So if you ever write the word barcade on the internet, in an article. So I wrote for a radio station for a while, and I wrote an article about a barcade.
Wait. Hold on. You wrote for a radio station. wait, hang on. I'm trying to...
Write it back for him.
Yeah.
Okay, so I worked at a radio station, and this radio station had a very, popular website in the city I was in.
Okay.
And my entire job was writing, digital news stories.
Okay, so it's like how Crunchyroll has a news section. Okay.
100%, yeah. But the story there is, if you write the word barcade in an internet story, the person that owns the trademark on the word barcade will send you a cease and desist. It's a fun thing if you guys want to experiment. Write a little article about barcade and see what happens.
So you just call it an arcade bar or a bar arcade?
That's it.
An establishment where they drink and play video games.
That's it.
That just sounds like my house.
That's a fun story for you. And the second part is room scale VR, I think, is going to be a thing that is going to transform arcades. And I know that sounds wild to say in 2021, but I do think arcades will have a place in our entertainment diets, but it'll mostly be room scale VR in bars as a fun thing.
Well, let's just hope that arcades don't completely disappear.
Agree.
All right, so now moving on to in other news, we have Jason with the first couple of stories.
Yeah, the good-ish news. First up is Nintendo Network will remain available after 3DS repair phase out. This is by Kite Stenbach for Siliconera. Nintendo posted a new tweet on its Japanese customer support account assuring 3DS owners that the online Nintendo Network and eShop services will still be available even after the first model have been phased out from the official repair services. Shout out to Game Watch. This announcement came only a day after Nintendo announced it will start phasing out 3DS consoles from its official service centers, starting with the original 3DS and 3DS XL at the end of March 2021. The new 3DS and Nintendo 2DS, along with the larger XL variants, will still be eligible for official repairs. Full details are in the article, but really, it's just a matter of time. Get a big SD card, download all your games, make the necessary backups, because It's a coming. That day is a coming.
Yeah, make sure you download. I need to make sure that I get Pokemon Crystal before.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it is for people who had a Wii or a Wii U and the online store is now phased out, if they're still able to download their games from a library or not. But
I don't think so. I don't know about Wii U, but on Wii, I don't think so.
Okay, so make sure you're up on the details and make the necessary steps. Okay, next up is Final Fantasy VII Remake PlayStation Plus PS4 version cannot be upgraded to the PS5 version. This is by Kazuma Hashimoto for Siliconera. Final Fantasy VII Remake will be heading to the PlayStation Plus in March. A description hidden away in the Japanese PlayStation Store revealed that the game will be available as part of the roster of PlayStation Plus games available to Japanese audiences. However, the PS4 version available through PlayStation Plus will not be available to upgrade to the PS5 version of the game. North American or European consumers will have access to the game through the service as well. Shout out to Ibo_AC7. So yeah, this made the news last week, I want to say, or the beginning of this week, where the PS Plus version of Final Fantasy VII for the PS4 is not upgradable to PS5.
Yeah.
It makes sense to me, but I also understand why people would be bummed by this. I mean, you could still play the PS4 version of this game on the PS5, right? You just wouldn't be able to have all the enhancements.
You wouldn't have and that's what people are disappointed about.
Understandable.
Yeah.
What bums me out more is that the Yuffie DLC is not available for PS4.
Yeah, it's PS5 exclusive, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how they get you to upgrade.
Yeah, it's true.
Listen,
if you can find one,
I tried to buy one today. I tried to buy one today, but Walmart was not having it.
Nuh-uh. Because I saw a story, not a story. There was like an update. It's like, oh, it looks like Walmart Mexico or something has PS5, and I was like, oh, that means it's gonna be a whole. There's a storm coming in like a couple minutes, and then of course, a couple minutes later, PS5s are up at Walmart.
Yeah, yesterday Amazon just showed me a lot of pictures of dogs.
I am very lucky I got that Sony email for the PS5 stuff.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Well, the nice thing is there's not like too many PS5 exclusives yet.
Oh, sure. And besides, I'm still playing Final Fantasy 14, so no rush here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got a Series X when it came out, thankfully. Like, I was one of the lucky ones. But I'm really not.
Oh, also, I'm sure your Series X works unlike mine.
Did you vape in it? What did you do?
I didn't do anything. It doesn't. Any disc I put in besides Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, it won't run anything bigger than like a Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. If I try to run anything bigger, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Maneater, Nier Automata, shuts down after a couple minutes.
Huh.
I'm gonna get it once it once I get a certain thing done. I'm gonna send it back in because I still have the email with my case number for it. Because originally the only disc game I had for it was Yakuza, so they couldn't determine anything from that. But now that I've tried other things, I should be able to talk to them again and send it back. But yeah, so my Series X never worked right. PS5 has been fine.
I am excited to play Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and that is the first title where I go like, oh, I need a PS5 now.
Yeah, I thought I'm probably gonna replay Ratchet & Clank in anticipation for that because I haven't played it since it came out, and I thought it was just kind of mediocre. But I'll try it again, give it another chance.
I was told, and this may be incorrect, and I'm gonna fact check it just to close this off. I was told that the PlayStation 4 Ratchet and Clank is free on PlayStation.
Yeah, no,
Store
that's what
right
that's
now.
how I that's why I say that.
Yeah, it's free to own, like
Yeah.
fully
Oh,
free.
nice.
Yeah, because it's
You
part
don't-
of the play at home.
Play at home.
initiative.
Yeah.
Neat.
If you previously claimed it through PlayStation Plus, you can still claim it, and then you get the full license and not the PlayStation Plus license.
I did not know that. Okay, well, moving on to the next story. Back to Japanese games. Onion Games launched a survey to gauge interest in older title revivals. This is by Saruman for Uematsu. Onion Games has launched a survey asking which previously released titles from the company fans would like to see return. Over the past year, we've been running a survey to learn more about our fans. The survey reads, Now for 2021, we'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on what you wish Onion would release next, especially among our lineup of older pre-Onion legacy games. It continues, porting older games is always a huge challenge for us, and we can't 100% guarantee that any of these options can happen. But even if a port only has a 1% chance of coming together, your vote could be a big step in making that dream come true. Among the list of past Onion Games titles included in the survey are PlayStation 2 cult classic Tulip and survival horror game Rule of Rose. There's a lot of fans of Tulip, and I didn't realize it.
Same with Rule of Rose. I distinctly remember I used to work at like an EB Games back in the day, and I distinctly remember that box art and how occasionally I'd have somebody be like, "Yo, this game amazing."
There's also their more recent releases include what is it called, Million Onion Hotel, and Dandy Dungeon. And Dandy Dungeon is really fun. I talked about it a ways back, like
Okay, next up is Forever Entertainment to develop multiple remakes based on Square Enix Japan IP. This is by Sal Romano for Uematsu. Forever Entertainment has entered into an agreement to develop and release multiple game remakes based on one intellectual property owned by Square Enix Japan, the company announced. The game of this property will be announced separately at the launch of a worldwide marketing campaign. The remakes will feature new visuals while maintaining the same gameplay and scenario from the original versions. Release dates will be announced separately. Forever Entertainment will receive over 50% of sales of each copy of the game sold across all platforms. Previously known to have developed or ported at least the Panzer Dragoon remake on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. So start your bets, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think is next? Personally, I think it's probably going to be dipping into the Enix side of things. But people are probably hoping and wishing that Final Fantasies 1 through
What do you mean
6.
by the Enix side of things?
Well, Enix games haven't really gotten much love since the merger, besides the obvious Dragon Quest.
Yes.
However, I feel like
Dragon Quest could use. There are some Dragon Quest games that have remakes that never got a localization, or some older Dragon Quest games that could use a remake.
Sure, but this is a bit different. This is like, or the wording at least makes it sound like it's a remake of, not small series, but something they haven't tackled yet. At least that's how I read it. But people have also been clamoring for a proper remake to Final Fantasy 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
And there's a vocal fan base for Final Fantasy 8, so there's also that. And I don't know if you've noticed, but what's the one called? Ever Crisis, Final Fantasy Ever Crisis on mobile.
Yeah.
It's basically what people have been wishing for, and maybe that's going to be the template moving forward.
I can't tell you a single, and this is probably just my ignorance. I can't tell you a single Enix title. Like if you said, "Hey Jacob, name titles from the Enix side of the Square Enix merger," I would just say, pass. So tell me, like, what are you excited about? Like, what's the number one game where you're like, I want this Enix title?
I'm not the biggest Enix fan because, I myself have kind of more love for the Final Fantasy side of things. But I see a lot of people on Twitter clamoring for a Quintet remake, so I'm throwing it out there. The Quintet games, maybe go for it. Besides that, I don't know. Tactics Ogre would be great. Final Fantasy Tactics would be great. There's a lot of good games in Square Enix's household, so it could go anyway, really.
Yeah. I wonder. Only time will tell. I don't have anything else to say about that. Next story.
Oh, yeah, that's me again?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
yeah. I was like, oh no, is he still with us?
No. I was so lost in thought. Okay, next up is Bandai Namco next trademark hints at direct style show from the Elden Ring publisher. Oof, say that 5 times fast. This is by Dom Pepiat for VG247. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. Please yell at me on Twitter if it's not the case. Bandai Namco has trademarked Bandai Namco Next, which could be Bandai Namco's version of Sony's State of Play or Nintendo's Direct. A recent trademark filing, now removed, that popped up at the European Union Intellectual Property Office seemed to tease a new showcase coming from Elden Ring, Tekken, and Tales of producer Bandai Namco. Really, I need that new Tales game. Come on. Give it to me. Yeah. Last year they did have a showcase, a digital showcase, but it just it was just everything else they already announced and nothing new. So I'm not holding my breath for this one. I hope it's filled with new stuff, but we'll see. I
think we're just gonna continue to see more of these like digital style showcases.
Okay.
E3.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
Canceled.
I have something to say about this. So people are saying, "Oh, Elden Ring. Oh, this might be where they show Elden Ring." I'm like, "No, you gotta Elden Ring. No, you're not thinking big enough." Okay. How about Digimon Survive release date? Finally, and I know it's a way out there thing. So I don't know, but Tabe Oja localization. Jacob, if you don't know what Tabe Oja is, basically Pokemon mixed with Cooking Mama.
Give it to me right now.
It's only available in Japan right now. And it's
That
not
sounds
available
like-
digitally either for some reason. And it has little controller doodads too for the cooking part. Its mascot is
Battle
a
Chef
cat
Brigade.
burger.
So give me more fusions of games that involve cooking. That sounds super dope.
I'll send you a link to some of the trailers after.
Thank you.
But yeah, because I've looked, because if it doesn't get localized, I'm just going to get the full set, even though it's kind of expensive. At some point, I'm just going to get the full set that Japan got, because I don't know why it's not available digitally. It's like the games I want localized that have a very low chance of getting localized, for some reason don't have digital versions. That and the Metabots collection. But anyways, yes, it's like everybody was like, "Oh, Elden Ring," but I'm sure we'll see some like anime games. But everybody forgets about Digimon Survive and how good it looks.
You'll get your anime games. Don't worry.
I'm not worried about the anime games. Digimon Survive, I know what technically counts as an anime game, but it was not. Digimon was a Tamagotchi spin-off first. So.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you'll get your anime game.
Next up, pet hamster simulation game Jungarian Story announced for Switch. You may be asking why I added this. Go to the article and
why?
look at the pictures. Or no, not the the official website, I mean. There's only one picture in this article. So Success has announced pet hamster... That's a good name for a developer or publisher. Success has announced pet hamster simulation game Jungarian Story for Switch. It will launch on May 20th in Japan with support for English, Japanese, and Chinese traditional and simplified language options. The 2,500 yen limited print physical edition will include a download code for the full game, the downloadable content Sukaroku pack, the physical edition exclusive digital item bonus Pink Bear, the original papercraft Jungarian Hamster's House, and a special sticker set. The standalone digital edition will cost 1,000 yen. The downloadable content Sukaroku pack can be purchased in June for 500 yen. You can pet, play with, and befriend your hamster. Make more friends. When hamsters tie the knot, a child hamster will be born. Decorate the cage. Exchange item and at the Junjun Mall to customize the cage. This is like Nintendogs, but with hamsters.
I was gonna say this makes me want to watch some Hamtaro.
Yeah, Nintendogs cross Hamtaro.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
And I want it.
The collector's edition comes with a real hamster.
The collector's... I don't know if you want to ship that over from Japan. I don't think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, please don't. Please don't.
I don't think they'll live.
I would get the digital edition. It's cheaper. It's essentially $10. But yes, and there's another story later that's kind of similar to this. But yeah, I'm actually excited for this. I will totally upload a video of me playing this.
I'm excited to watch that.
I can see this. Okay, next up is...
Oh, Jacob took this one. Yeah, we actually had somebody else take stories to give us a little break this time.
Take the little break while I tell you about Sony and how they've patented a way of turning bananas, mugs, and more into PlayStation controllers.
All right, I'll leave right now. No, I'm just kidding.
This story comes to us from IGN. Jordan Alleman wrote this one and said, Sony has patented technology that would allow players to turn household objects and even fruit into PlayStation controllers. Players will be able to use a camera to scan objects for the system to detect, which could then be used for specific in-game functions. As reported by GamesIndustry.biz, a recent Sony patent was filed for the innovation, indicating that game peripherals can be seen as too complicated and expensive for some users, and reasoning that it would be desirable if a user could use an inexpensive, simple, and non-electronic device as a video game peripheral. Their potential solution, turning readily available objects into peripherals for games. This seems cool, but you know how it goes. Like, console manufacturers like to patent a lot of things, and most of the time they don't really do anything with them. So I think this is cool. I think this is wild. Do I think that this will ever see the light of day? Probably not.
Well, yeah, because patents happen all the time. A while back, we were talking about how Sony patented an AI robot companion that could play games with you and respond to emotions or something, and I was like, that sounds like a terrible idea. That's how Terminator started, or the Matrix or something.
That's Skynet.
Yeah, the robot uprising. Of course, it was just a patent and nothing came of it, at least so far. So we don't know. But this is interesting because I could actually see this happening just as an inexpensive way to have extra controllers. But then again, it's well, then how much is the camera?
Yeah, exactly. I think that this is a weird, dumb thing that I appreciate that we went through, but I don't think anything will ever come of it.
I mean, I think somebody did beat Dark Souls with a banana controller.
I love that.
Not the same type of banana controller, but I don't know if it was Dark Souls or Bloodborne, but it was one of those. Alright, next story. Monster Hunter Rise to release for PC in early 2022. This is Kazuma Hashimoto for Siliconera. Monster Hunter Rise will release on PC sometime in early 2022. Producer Ryozo Sugimoto and director Yasunori Ichinose sat down in an interview with Famitsu where they shared this news, alongside other tidbits of Monster Hunter Rise related information. Sugimoto mentioned that while the release is far off. The team hopes to provide a more concrete was spelled wrong. Whoops. concrete release date as soon as it has been decided. Rumors of Monster Hunter Rise PC port were circulating, and it turns out they were true. However, it seems this release will just be about a year off from the Nintendo Switch release version of the game, which is scheduled to launch on March 26, 2021. Monster Hunter Rise will feature an entirely new locale and a handful of never-before-seen monsters. In the interview, Sugimoto mentions that a strong request from overseas audiences led to the PC port's development. Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter World Iceborne were smash successes, with Monster Hunter World now leading as Capcom's most profitable title. This was bolstered due to the game being available on various platforms, including PC. Are you a Monster Hunter fan at all, Jacob?
No, but I have this like weird curiosity with it. I know that with the last game, like I was like, ooh, this looks like an interesting game that I might someday play.
Someday.
I have again, like Final Fantasy XIV, I have a curiosity about it.
Yeah.
But I just wish there were more hours in the day for me to play video games.
I feel that.
It's the fun thing about getting older. You have, when you're 18, you have no money and you have all the time. And then when you're, old like me, you have all the money but
none
no
of the
time to do
yeah. So I had this whole plan. I mean, I'm getting Monster Hunter Rise, and we'll have plenty of videos about that at the end of the month. But I had this whole plan for March 26th. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play Monster Hunter Rise. I'm gonna watch Godzilla vs. Kong when it comes out on HBO Max. It's gonna be a great time. And they delayed Godzilla vs. Kong a week because they wanted to spread it out from the less important Snyder Cut of Justice League. And that's all I have to say about that.
No, but okay. Sure.
Oh, yeah, let's have Joker say we live in a society. Whatever, you could have Godzilla say roar. Whatever, I don't... It would have the same effect. Whatever. As you can see, I'm not a big Snyder fan.
I can tell.
I'm a much bigger kaiju fan. But, people can like what they like. I'm not going to judge them for it. Well, I don't know.
It sounds different, sure, but okay.
Look, people can watch what they watch. It's okay to be wrong, as people say.
Sure.
Okay, next Monster Hunter Rise story. Monster Hunter Rise will see the return of Anjanath and Toby Kadachi. These are both monsters from Monster Hunter World. This is by Kite Stenbook for Siliconera. Capcom has shared yet another Monster Hunter Rise video on the English series Twitter account. It confirmed that Monster Hunter World debutantes Anjanath, Jirura Todis, Kuluyaku, Puke, and Toby Kadachi will appear in the Rise roster. The 5 aforementioned monsters made their first appearances in the New World, where the previous game and its Iceborne expansion took place. The video shows how Anjanath and the other world monsters will interact with the new environment and Monster Hunter Rise areas surrounding the Kamura village. So that's good, some returning monsters from World to bring those people who started in World back in. And then there's I might skip this one, let me see.
I think it's just interesting. This is a story about Monster Hunter Rise, and there being an interview on sound design details. Yes. And I think it's neat. It just shows you some of the instruments that are being used to give. We're halfway in it, so go ahead. Sorry.
Capcom Unity released a Monster Hunter Rise. Oh, this is by Andrew Kia for Siliconera. Capcom Unity released a new Monster Hunter Rise interview, this time featuring sound director Kosuke Tanaka and lead composer Satoshi Hori. The interview revealed key details about environmental sound effects, hunter voices, and how the upcoming game's monster themes and BGM will focus heavily on the addition of vocals and Japanese instruments. Hori revealed that there will be no huge changes to monster themes. The team intentionally included nostalgic sounds from past titles into Monster Hunter Rise. Instead, they added a catchy twist to them to better fit the themes of the game. Monster themes for both new and returning monsters will feature vocals and instrumentation. Hori states that they recorded traditional Japanese instruments like the shakuhachi, shamisen, and koto, as well as many instruments that people wouldn't normally hear. For environmental sound effects, Hori explained that the team did field recordings in order to make the game feel realistic. From the songs of birds to ambient cave noises, the game will feature many real sounds that change depending on what area the hunter is in. Additionally, Tanaka also explained the reasoning behind adding hunter dialogue in Rise. He mentions that players used to play together in the same physical space on portable consoles, and that the team wanted to recreate this feeling for those that were unable to do so. Furthermore, Tanaka says that Hunter Voices also removes the necessity for voice chat functionality, lowering the hurdle for communication. Hunter voice lines will be tied to players' own settings, allowing people to communicate over language barriers. He adds that the frequency of spoken dialogue can be customized in-game. This includes an option for those who only want grunts and vocalizations like in past titles. Alright, so, because a lot of people didn't like some of the English voice acting, I prefer just using the Monster Hunter language, keeping it traditional. And then, like, when I play with other people, I'm still going to be on, like, Discord talking to them. Since Nintendo doesn't really have a very good voice chat system.
They do not.
So, like...
Well, hopefully that'll change with the rumored Switch Pro.
We're not there yet.
It's a tease. It's a tease.
Okay, so next we have a bunch of stuff from New Games Plus Expo 2021, and like I said at the beginning of the podcast, our reacts, or I guess it's more appropriately my reacts, because I was the only person reacting to it, but it's still our brand. Is up. Our reaction video to it is up now. Jacob actually wanted to take the first story.
Yeah, so I was really excited about this. So let me tell you about the first game from it. It is the Silver Case 2425 for Switch, is coming west on July 6th. It includes both the Silver Case and the 25th Ward, the Silver Case. So very quickly, publishers NIS America and Playism and developer Grasshopper Manufacture will release the Silver Case 2425 for Switch on July 6th in North America and Europe. It is a remake of the mystery adventure games The Silver Case and the 25th Ward, The Silver Case. I am very excited by anything Suda51 does. I think Grasshopper Manufacture does incredibly interesting and cool stuff. They did Killer 7, they did No More Heroes, they did Shadows of the Damned, which I absolutely adored. Killer is Dead, Lollipop Chainsaw. I could literally keep going. But this one is kind of an adventure game that looked like a dark noir Ace Attorney game, and I was super into it. So I have no experience playing this one, but it's Suda and it's Grasshopper, and it looks like a dark Ace Attorney, so I'm into it and I want to try it.
Yeah, it seems like there are a lot of fans of this game who have wanted... Well, there was that re-release on PC a while ago, right?
Yep.
So it's just more... making it more accessible for people who maybe don't play on Switch rather than PC, so that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
All in one collection.
I adore, like, the Zero Escape games. I like the Ace Attorney games, so let's go. Give me this one.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to the Famicom Detective Club games.
Yeah.
I still have a few other visual novels to get through, but I'm looking forward to those.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is retro-inspired first-person shooter Exophobia launches October 5th for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. This is explore an abandoned human spaceship that crashed on an unknown planet. This is, once again, Saruman for Uematsu. Retro-inspired first-person shooter Exophobia will launch for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC via Steam on October 5th. Publisher PM Studios and developer Zarkatak announced. It looks... so it says, key features: kill, explore, upgrade, die. First-person shooter action where fast reflexes and clever positioning are vital. Learn enemy behavior and use all your movement options and your surroundings to eliminate diverse groups of alien armies as fast as possible or before they kill you. Explore. Discover a labyrinthine spaceship with multiple floors and uncover the past events that led to this high-stakes moment. Get lost in hostile environments and traps while doing your best to survive. Be curious enough and you might find some secrets that will make you stronger. If you find a specialized room, you can improve your weapon with a new ability. These drastically change your combat tactics and will be used to open up previously inaccessible areas in the spaceship required to progress. Ruthless difficulty and diverse combat situations with different enemy types and attack patterns, including menacing bosses. When you die, you respawn in the last visited checkpoint in the spaceship, so beware what you might find in the next room. This game looks like, reminded me of Doom, but with like a slightly more cartoony, like Super Nintendo style aesthetic. If you know what I mean. And that's why I was kind of interested. I'm like, sci-fi first-person shooter with like a really interesting aesthetic, like graphical style. I might be in.
It reminded me of that roguelike shooter that came out on Xbox about a year ago. It was on Game Pass. I'll think of it. But graphically, it kind of reminded me of that.
I know what you're talking about, but I forget the name too.
Keep going. I'll figure it out and come back to it.
All right, Jason.
Yeah. Next up is Pocky and Rocky Reshrined launches this fall on PS4 and Switch. This is by Sal Romano for Uematsu. Pocky and Rocky Reshrined, previously known as Pocky and Rocky 2021, will launch for PS4 and Switch this fall. Publisher Natsume and developer Natsume Atari announced. You can click on the article for a full breakdown or like overview of the game, but I'm super pumped for this because the Pocky and Rocky series is a very fun series of 16-bit shoot 'em ups. I want to say they're kind of shoot 'em ups. They're kind of also just adventure games, but they're steeped in a lot of Japanese mythological or folklorish trappings, and it's a really cute game, and I really want to play this.
Yeah, so do I.
Keep your eye out for this one.
Isn't Pocky Rocky known for being like super difficult, like the old ones at least? This one didn't look too bad.
I'd say it's challenging, but like everything of the 16-bit era is challenging. So
not everything, but yeah.
I'm not the best judge for that. Yeah.
Gentlemen, Rogue Bastards. That's the game I was thinking of.
I don't remember that one.
Oh, sorry, not Rogue. The Void Bastards.
Yeah, that one. Okay, I saw Michael Higham play that on PC a while back. That one's a little more like cell shaded though, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit more, but like it kind of reminded me. It was like, yeah, that's fair to say. It was a little more cell shaded for sure.
All right. Next story is Alchemic Cutie launches July 27th for Xbox Series. This, I believe, is once again Saruman Uematsu. Yes. A wholesome, relaxing RPG set on colorful Wimba Island. Alchemic Cutie will launch first for Xbox Series on July 27th. Publisher PM Studios and developer Viridian Software announced. The game is also planned for release on PC via Steam. It's a wholesome, relaxing RPG set on colorful Wimba Island. While taming wild jellies, you'll meet villagers, enter jelly competitions, and uncover secrets of the island. Wimba Island is a huge place with plenty to do, from exploring secret locations to discovering new jellies scattered all over the island. As seasons change, so does the island with new areas, different jellies and items appearing. Raise jellies. Enjoy an engaging jelly raising system where each jelly has uniquely generated stats, traits, and over 4,000 visual styles. You will be able to tame, breed, and raise the perfect jelly companion and take it with you on adventures. Make friends. Befriend a village of goofy, fun, and sometimes complicated characters. Help them by completing quests or just hang out, mingle, and get to know them. Who knows, maybe some might be hiding something. Use magic. With the use of your flute and a bit of alchemy, you'll gain the ability to create special items with powerful effects, or even morph different items into something rare and powerful. Win competitions. With your proudly raised jellies, take part in thrilling competitions against other villagers for the chance of winning medals. So, this looks like Stardew mixed with Slime Rancher, mixed with Monster Rancher.
Yeah, when I was looking at this earlier, I showed this video to my partner when I was sitting at the kitchen table, and she's actually playing Stardew on Switch for the second time now.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, hey, look, do you want to play Stardew again? And she said, no more Stardew for me. But you're totally right. Like, it looks a lot like a Stardew game.
But it seems to play a little differently, at least. I'm actually much more interested in this than I am in Stardew, but I'm a big Mon game person, so I'm like, oh, collecting slimes? The thing I wanted Slime Rancher to be? Collecting and raising and taming and breeding slimes?
Well, they got Erroll,
Yep.
So it's a win.
Release date for that? July 27th for Xbox Series, and then planned PC via Steam. Okay.
I know what you're playing this summer.
I wonder if it will be a Game Pass game. Because, indie games, like every so often, pop up on Game Pass at the day of release. So I do wonder.
A boy can hope, right?
Yeah. Next is, and this is kind of related to the hamster thing, Pups and Purrs Animal Hospital coming west this summer. Become the very best veterinarian ever. This is once again by Sawamano for Uematsu. Axis Games will release Nippon Columbia developed Pups and Purrs Animal Hospital, known as Wanyan Dobutsu Byoin Pet o Taskeru
A valiant effort.
Daiji na Oshigoto in Japan. For Switch this summer. In North America and Europe, the publisher announced. Pups and Purrs Animal Hospital first launched for Switch in July 2020 in Japan. Here's an overview of the game via Axis Games. Become the best veterinarian ever. These adorable pets aren't feeling too well, so let's give them the care they need. Pups and Purrs Animal Hospital is a simulation game in which you can have a dream job you've always wanted, taking care of cute, fluffy friends. Our poor little friends can't speak, so it's your job to find out what's wrong with them. In checkup mode. Carefully check for injuries by performing various tests, such as x-rays, taking their temperatures, using a stethoscope. That is a hard word to say. Once you know what's wrong, administer treatment by performing your job. There's 20 different mini-games to test your prowess as a veterinarian. 18 different breeds of cute, fluffy friends will need your help at the clinic. On your days off, wind down by enjoying the weekend. Go shopping and choose from 184 different outfits. Visit the hair salon and pick one of 40 different hairstyles. Additionally, you can enjoy hanging out in the city, going to movies, the amusement park, the beach, and much more. All these pets have anime eyes.
The way you want your pets to have is anime eyes.
This just caught my eye because I'm like, I thought of doing a thing where it's like, but you make it like a, like, because obviously it's like it's a very family friendly, like kid friendly game. But what if you make it like you do a video series on it, but you make it like more intense, like a hospital drama or like trauma center or something? This cat needs an X-ray
Trauma
stat.
Center, great.
like
I don't know if you guys remember this, but like back in the day, Ryan Davis, like rest in peace, Giant Bomb, he did the what's the babysitting mom? I think the game is called that came with that like physical baby.
Yeah.
And this just reminds me of him like, no, don't shake the baby when you would shake the baby during that game. The vibe of babysitting mama in this game are identical. These pets are adorable.
I don't know.
You've sold me.
I don't know. I don't know if it'll be good as Jungarian story with all the little hamsters, but we'll see. Next story is the sealed ampule now available. I had to.
Let's say it is.
I still don't know if that's a word.
It's a video game, so any word could be a word.
A sealed glass capsule containing a liquid,
There
especially
you
a
go.
measured quantity.
You
ready
learn
for
something
injection.
every day.
Cavi House's Dungeon Agriculturalization Roguelike. This is once again by Sawamano for Uematsu. Publisher Playism and developer KV House have released Dungeon Agriculturalization Roguelike game and Forget Me Not My Organic Garden prequel, the sealed ampule for PC via Steam for a 10% off launch discount price of $17.99, the company has announced. The Sealed Ampule is a dungeon agriculturalization roguelike game. As the genre shows, the game offers both the roguelike and the farming. That's a weird way to phrase that. This is what the press release says. It offers both the roguelike and the farming. The game is developed by KV House, the developer of Forget Me Not, My Organic Garden, and The Midnight Sanctuary. Unlike usual roguelike games, you'll level up the dungeon, not the character. Then you'll get bonanza crop of items, mass generation of magic circles. What? By leveling up the dungeon, it will produce useful items more effectively. Items will make the character strong, then the strong character can dive deep into the dungeon. The goal is to master agriculturalization of the dungeon. The game itself is mainly leveling up the character and the dungeon in very steadily way. Contrary to that rather humble system, the art style of the game is gorgeous in mineral Okay, did somebody proofread The glorious and mysterious world is embroidered with the alchemy and Wunderkammer motif. The player controls the protagonist Irene Morgan, the novice alchemist, and explores her own newly bought used dungeon. While she maintains her own dungeon, she encounters the strangest murder case ever, which she ends up investigating it.
Is it that bad?
I'm not going to keep reading. It's just a little annoying. So there are 2 types of levels for each dungeon floor: farm level and magic level. Increasing the farm level will increase the number of available items. Increasing the magic level will increase the number of useful magic circles. Various skills like attack, heal, enchant, item management, etc. It looks like an interesting game.
It's like a roguelike with farming.
Doesn't help, but yeah. So I thought it was interesting, and it has a very strange title, and it's available now.
Next up is Disgaea 6 Defiance of Destiny, launches June 29th in the West. This is by Sal Romano for Uematsu. Strategy RPG Disgaea 6 Defiance of Destiny will launch for Switch on June 29th in North America and Europe. Publisher NIS America and developer Nihon Ichi Software announced. The strategy RPG sequel first launched for PS4 and Switch in January. The PlayStation 4 version has not been announced. Wait, what? Do they mean it first launched in Japan in January? Because now it says the PlayStation 4 version has not been announced for Western release. Okay. Users who purchase the game at launch will receive the following 4 additional characters and their stories as bonus content: Adele, Rosalind, Girl, Laharl, and Asagi. You can click on the article and you'll see the trailer right there. They said they retooled this new entry to be a bit more user friendly, so maybe this is the time the Disgaea series pops for me. But yeah, if you're into strategy RPGs, if you're into zany anime aesthetics, this might be the thing for you. Yes.
Best Disgaea
I'm thinking
game.
4.
Go.
The Prene spin-offs. I've never played a Disgaea game.
Me neither, same.
Okay, next up is Erroll.
Me. Azure Striker Gunvolt 3 launches in 2022. This is once again Saramano for Uematsu. Hiroki Miyazawa joins the game as an action director. Azure Striker Gunvolt 3 will launch for Switch in 2022, publisher and developer Inti Creates announced. Additionally, the company announced that Bloodstained Curse of the Moon series director Hiroki Miyazawa has joined the game as an action director. The Azure Striker Gunvolt 3 is a true sequel to the Nintendo 3DS eShop titles Azure Striker Gunvolt and Azure Striker Gunvolt 2. Action supervisor Keiji Unifune, level 5 concept CCO, joins forces once again with series director Yoshihisa Suda to create a brand new type of action game experience for Azure Striker Gunvolt fans old and new. Due out for Switch in 2022. This series I've always been really interested in because Inti Creates, it's also the same developers who made the Mega Man Zero games.
Mm-hmm.
And I also really like the Bloodstained Curse of the Moon games. And I've played the demo of the first Gunvolt, and it was pretty cool. I just never really got the game. And then I also played, like, at the last PAX, I played the demo of the most recent. It's part of the Gunvolt series. It's not Gunvolt. It's Luminous Avenger X. I played a demo of that one, and that was fun too. And the thing I like about them is like when a certain thing, I don't know, I forgot what exactly it was that happens. Like I think it's either the first time you die or like when you get to a certain amount of health, like a Japanese song that sounds like an anime opening or like anime insert song starts playing, and it kind of like hypes you up.
Yeah.
I just really like that as like a cool touch.
I've been very curious about these games. I also think I have either the first or the demo for the first on, I think 3DS?
Yeah, it's on 3DS
Yeah.
and Switch, and I believe PS4 as well now.
Yeah. And it for sure gives me Mega Man Zero vibes. So like I am super into it. Even though I got burned on Mighty Number 9, I know it is not the same thing at all.
Yeah,
But like I feel like I've not touched a Mega Man like game till then.
like the guy Keiji Inafune is on it, but that doesn't mean he's like, the most involved person in it.
Yeah, that game is just bad. But yeah, this game looks cool.
It's good to see it keep going strong. Next story, arcade-style soccer beat-em-up game Guts and Goals launches August 31st for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Not your standard game of soccer. This is once again by Saruman for Uematsu. Arcade-style soccer beat-em-up game Guts and Goals will launch for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC via Steam on August 27th. Publisher PM Studios and developer Code Manu announced. Here's an overview of the game. This isn't your standard game of soccer. This is Guts and Goals, where soccer balls can be hockey pucks, and you use your bat instead of your feet to score goals. Choose from over 20 unique heroes and get ready to play the world's game like never before. Key features: different ways to play. Each stadium has a unique way to play the game of soccer. Score a goal with a beach ball on the beach, and hit a hockey puck at the skating rink, keeping you on your toes. During each game, random mutators will change the way you play. Mutators can change everything from the ball you're hitting to the entire game design in a matter of seconds. There are no penalty cards. Each of the over 20 heroes has a unique ability that can drastically change the tide of a match. You can use these abilities to temporarily KO your opponent, giving you an opportunity to score. Play your way. Guts and Goals can be played both online and offline. Single player, co-op, multiplayer, and local couch co-op. Enjoy this hilarious take on soccer however you like. This game looks amazing and chaotic, and you can play as an avocado.
I played Super Blood Hockey on the Switch, and I got like Super Blood Hockey vibes here. So like into it. Looks great.
I like soccer video games. Captain Tsubasa, Inazuma 11, and then this is just like a...
Wait, do you play the FIFA games
funny
then?
take on it.
Ah.
No, I mean like more over the top soccer games.
Yeah.
Not FIFA. Well, I did play one FIFA game. The best one, 2010
Debatable.
World Cup.
Okay. Next up is Prinny Presents. Also
it did
debatable.
have the best soundtrack.
Prinny Presents NIS Classics Volume 1.
How dare you?
Announced for Switch and PC.
I'll be right back. I need to get
Phantom
more
Brave
water.
and Soul Nomad. This is by the great Sal Romano for Uematsu. NIS America has announced Strategy RPG Collection Prinny Presents NIS Classics Volume 1 for Switch and PC, which includes both Phantom Brave, the Bermuda Triangle Remastered, and Soul Nomad, and the World Eaters. It will launch this summer. The PC release is actually just Soul Nomad and World Eaters for Steam, and Phantom Brave, the Bermuda Triangle Remastered, already launched for PC via Steam back in July 2016. Looks great, promising. Strategy RPG is right up my alley, so maybe I'll give this a shot. Yeah. Let's see. Next up is Blaster Master 03, announced for PS4, Switch, and PC. This is also by the great Sal Romano for Uematsu. Indie Creates has announced Blaster Master 03 for PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC via Steam and the Epic Game Stores. It will launch on July 29th for $14.99. And if you click on the article, there will be an overview of the game, but it's more Indie Creates goodness. No, we're on Blaster Master now.
Are we still on Printing Presents? Oh, dang. Well, I just wanted to say that I'm very glad these older games are getting ports. They look really cool. And then Blaster Master Zero looks cool too, but I'm just not really into that series as much.
Next up we have Jacob again with No More Heroes.
Jacob.
Yeah, so I'm super excited to bring you this one. Again, this is Sal Romano from Uematsu, and Limited Run Games is opening up pre-orders for limited print physical editions of No More Heroes and No More Heroes 2 Desperate Struggle for Switch on March 12th. Each game will be available in a standard edition for $34.99 and a collector's edition for $69.99. I have wanted to play these games for a very long time. On our podcast, the Left Behind Game Club, we have talked about playing No More Heroes for literally years. So maybe this is the opportunity where we will finally do it. The special edition comes with, it's this, dual box that is also a flag that comes with, steelbook and soundtrack. And it looks super, super badass. So if you're interested, look this up. The limited edition looks super cool, but y'all, I need to play.
It regularly goes on sale on the eShop,
I need to. I have to.
I'm sure you'll pick it up sooner than later.
Yeah, I'm talking about Suda and Grasshopper. I feel like I specifically chose these stories so I could share my love of Suda. But that's that. Look for that limited run game.
Yeah, that I actually just ordered the Scott Pilgrim game from them recently because it was about to go. It was the last time. It was the last day to do it. I might pick the No More Heroes games up too because I need to play both of them before 3 comes out.
Yeah, they have. I think To the Moon. They're doing pre-orders for a physical edition right now. So. I'm on the Limited Run Games website now, so here we are.
Okay. Last one for me for the moment is Bloomberg says Nintendo to announce new Switch model with 7-inch OLED display later in 2021. This is by Sal Romano again for Uematsu. Nintendo will unveil a new Switch model with a bigger Samsung OLED display later in 2021, according to a Bloomberg report citing people familiar with the plan. The Samsung display is said to be 7-inch 720p OLED panel with an initial monthly target of just under 1 million units and will reportedly be shipping to assemblers around July. Quote, the OLED panel will consume less battery, offer higher contrast, and possibly faster response time when compared to the Switch's current liquid crystal display. End quote. Display consultancy DSCC co-founder Yoshio Tamura told Bloomberg. The report also said that the model will support 4K resolution when paired with a TV. So that would mean if you dock it, then presumably NVIDIA's DLSS system would kick in and then upscale your 720p image to 4K. Representatives for Nintendo and Samsung declined to comment when contacted by Bloomberg. Surprise, surprise.
Hopefully, this is good, and we know we kind of always knew it was coming. But the one thing is that I've heard that newer Switches right now have an HDCP issue, where it's harder to record footage. So hopefully, this new one doesn't either has an option to turn HDCP on and off, like other modern consoles do. Or is
it's Nintendo, so I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, we'll see. It's a really
it's like we'll see.
It's a coin cost. Yeah.
Up in the air, yeah. So next story is Pokemon shirts feature 34 patterns from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. This is by Oni Dino for Siliconera. Premium clothing brand Original Stitch and the Pokemon Company are teaming up on a new line of Pokemon shirts. The new clothing items are launching in tandem to celebrate the Pokemon series' 25th anniversary, which is already released right now. Although the collection is called Pokemon shirts, the lineup includes bandanas and masks too. Fans can choose. I did not know they had masks. I'm going to have to look into that. Fans can choose from 34 new patterns of Pokemon from the Hoenn region to customize their apparel of choice. Game Freak introduced all of the creatures in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, such as the grass types Trico, Grovyle, and Sceptile. In addition to the new line, Original Stitch previously released Pokemon designs. Fans can customize t-shirts and polo shirts with 285 types of original prints. These feature Pokemon from Red and Blue, Gold and Silver, and Ruby and Sapphire. Adult shirts start at $100, kid shirts start at $85, and masks start at $18. Yeah, it's a little pricey, but they are very good I believe they're good quality, and they're very nice designs.
A little pricey. Dang.
Well, you know. High quality item.
Yeah, they're a lot of pricey, but look, I've had my eye on a lot of these like Pokemon shirts for a very long time.
Like,
so
I like to go and experiment with the design, because there are different ones. You could do like a Hawaiian short shirt style for the shorter sleeve, and like a formal style for the longer sleeve, and just mess with the different patterns and different colored buttons to see what you like, what combinations you like. And you don't have to order it. You can just experiment and see, like, yeah, maybe I'll get that at some point in the future when I have the money. Next is new Pokemon Snap trailer shows the Lentil region online photo sharing. This is by Kazuma Hashimoto for Siliconera. A new trailer for Pokemon Snap was revealed during the Pokemon Presents broadcast held to celebrate the series' 25th anniversary. The latest trailer featured new gameplay which showcased various Pokemon that will be found within the entirely new Lentil region. Like previous entries, players can use items to coax Pokemon to the camera to get their photographs taken, and also confirmed online photo sharing. You will also be able to show your paragraphs to the professor to receive a rating. Players will also be able to edit these photos using stickers and frames. You will also be able to share your photographs online with other players. The trailer pointed out that people's popular photos might be featured in the game. I'm really excited for new Pokemon Snap. I was actually I had to explain to my old college roommate, because like he doesn't know that much about Pokemon, and I was like, hey, these new Pokemon games are coming out, which we're just about to talk about in a second. What if we, like, I know you don't know that much about Pokemon, but like, do you want to like make a series where you react to that? And he's like, yeah, that could be fun. And I had to explain what Pokemon Snap was to him though, because I was like, oh, you take pictures, and it's kind of like a Pokemon Safari, and it was like, he was like, how exactly do you mean? And I was like, well, you're on a thing and you do this, and he's like, oh, okay.
I recently played Pokemon Snap on N64 through the Wii U in the last 6 months, and that game is cool, but I don't want to say it doesn't hold up, but like it is very much like an arcade game or like a light gun game you get on the PlayStation, the original PlayStation, just because you had to repeat levels a lot and there wasn't really a lot of depth to it.
It's needed a sequel for a while.
Yeah, so I just hope, and I'm sure it will be, but I hope it's like a more layered and deep game with more content.
I think there's going to be more content. I don't know if it's going to be that much deeper, though. Remember, this is a kid's game. The target audience is children for this, so.
Children like us.
So our main topic is also Pokemon. It's all the big Pokemon announcements that were last Friday. We have a Reacts video up for that, too. So first, we have the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes headed to Switch. This is by Jenni Lada for Siliconera. During the Pokemon Presents 2021 presentation, an often leaked game was confirmed. We will see Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remakes for the Nintendo Switch. The games will go by Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pokemon Shining Pearl. So close to a Pink Floyd / JoJo reference. So close.
One day.
If only they did Shining Diamond. It will head to the system in late 2021, probably November. Pokemon Home developers Ilka developed them. Game Freak's Junichi Masuda will still act as director. As expected, there will be a number of chances... What? Number of chances present. All information will be on a single screen. The Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl remakes will also be in 3D. However, only a brief trailer was shown, so we don't know too much yet. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl appeared on the Nintendo DS in 2006 in Japan and 2007 worldwide. The entry introduced a number of new features like Team Galactus' enemies, over 100 more Pokemon, and online multiplayer. The original game also offered Pokemon contests, which allowed people's characters to compete on multiple fronts. So, I don't know if you've, Jacob, if you've heard of a streamer named Echo Clo. She's known for mostly
I've heard
General
of her.
Grievous stuff. Yes. So, she actually just started streaming her Pokemon Platinum run because she loves Gen 4 and is a huge Giratina fan. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, where I was going with that is that Pokemon fans have also noticed that there are characters from Platinum in the trailer when you like it's like a blink and you'll miss it type of thing. Like certain things from Platinum are possibly in these remakes.
That's interesting.
Which would make sense.
I wasn't a huge Diamond and Pearl fan. I would say that my excitement about the Pokemon games generationally like started high with Red and Blue.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Gold and Silver, and then they kind of tapered off over time.
Yeah.
So maybe this is one that I'll jump back into. I mean, I really loved Sword and Shield, and I know that these games are more old school, unlike the Pokemon Legends game we're going to talk about in a second. But I am excited for these remakes.
Yeah, I do like how it's going back to a top-down view. I was never a big like, oh, they need to go back to that because the like type of person, but I appreciate that they are.
Back to the integration of the Platinum stuff, I think it makes sense because if we look at Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, which were basically modeled on Red and Blue, they absorbed a lot of Pokemon Yellow with you having a partner Pokemon next to you. So I'm guessing they'll follow the same route and add like stuff from Platinum into Diamond and Pearl.
People are hoping there's not a lot of people really didn't like the Delta episode from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, the thing that added the post game thing that added a like Rayquaza
like,
storyline and stuff about different
Pokemon fans also
dimensions.
complain that there's no post game in a lot of these games. So pick a lane, guys. Pick a lane.
Yeah. Luckily, I don't remember the post game in Diamond and Pearl. Oh, you know what it was? It was Pal Park. I didn't think about, or what? No, was Pal Park X and was it Pal Park that it was called? The one where you would put in your Game Boy Advance game in the bottom DS slot, and then you would recatch the Pokemon. It was like a Safari Zone, but for the Pokemon you've caught in the other games.
Was it even in the Safari Zone?
No, it wasn't. It was a separate area.
Got it.
I believe it was called Pal. Yeah, it was Pal Park. So I wonder if they'll have a similar thing to bring Pokemon from Sword and Shield or Let's Go to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Or if they'll just scrap that.
Pokemon Bank is still a thing, right?
Yeah, Pokemon Bank and Pokemon Home.
Okay. And maybe they'll figure out a way to do that via Home.
Yeah.
Sorry, which one is the one?
It's the
one's
most
the
recent
one that's
one.
more important?
Home's the one on Switch.
Got it.
Bank is for transferring.
And the other's on 3DS.
Yeah, Bank is for transferring. You need both to go from 3DS to Switch. Although I'm sure Bank is going to be phased out soon enough.
Yeah.
Much like many other things that, well, we talked about 3DS phase outs, but yeah, I'd be curious to see how it'll happen.
Yeah, like
if it does.
I'm surprised how many Gen 4 fans I know. Like when these remakes were announced, everybody was like Gen 4, Gen 4, Gen 4, and I'm like, yeah, I think it's actually my second favorite gen just because of how it works in the original Pokemon timeline. So Kanto and Hoenn, Gen 1 and Gen 3, their events take place at the same time. And then same goes for Johto and Sinnoh. So they have that connection. plus, there's also the Sinjo Ruins, which is supposedly a weird bridge between Sinnoh and Johto, but it's only for event stuff like Arceus, who we'll talk about in a second. And also I see Gen 4 as like kind of not a sequel exactly, but like in some ways a successor to Gen 2, because we got a handful of new evolutions for Gen 2 Pokemon in that game. Like, Mamoswine and Gliscor and Yanmega, stuff like that. So I definitely have a soft spot for Gen 4.
Yes, we're still here.
You guys still with me?
We
Okay.
are. I don't have anything else to share. Gen 4 is like a weird blind spot for me, where I can tell you what happened in the newer Pokemon games. I can tell you what happened in the first two generations, but like you start to get into Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5, and I can't tell you.
Gen 4's evil team is called Team Galactic, and all the grunts have bowl cuts.
That just spells evil, a bowl cut.
That's all you need to know.
And the hair is like green. And secondly, the big thing, like, everybody's like, oh yeah, Diamond and Pearl remakes, and then there was, but another story awaits. Once again, a story from Saruman over at Uematsu. The Pokemon Company and developer Game Freak have announced Pokemon Legends Arceus for Switch. It will launch in early 2022. Here's an overview of the game via the Pokemon Company. The fun of exploring while catching Pokemon and filling in a Pokedex has always been a core part of the Pokemon video game series. Pokemon Legends Arceus was developed with the desire to deliver an experience infused with new action and RPG elements that go beyond the framework established thus far, while honoring the core gameplay of past Pokemon titles. As trainers explore the natural expanses in Pokemon Legends Arceus, they'll encounter Pokemon that call these grand vistas home. To catch wild Pokemon, players can study the Pokemon's behaviors, sneak up to them, then throw Pokeballs. Players can also battle wild Pokemon with their ally Pokemon. By throwing the Pokeball holding their ally Pokemon near a wild Pokemon, players will seamlessly enter battle. This new gameplay angle is intended to provide trainers with an immersive experience. Pokemon Legends Arceus brings trainers to the vast Sinnoh region as it existed in the past, long before the setting for Pokemon Diamond and Pearl was established. Rich in nature and with Mount Coronet towering at its heart, this is a Sinnoh unlike anything trainers have ever experienced before as they embark to create the region's first Pokedex. As they start off on their adventures, trainers will be able to choose either Rowlet, Cyndaquil, or Oshawott as their first partner Pokemon. These three Pokemon arrived with a Pokemon professor who encountered them on research excursions to various regions. So I was showing this.
This game looks so cool.
So I was showing this to my friend. Like at first, like I was like, "Hey, you want to see something?" And she was like, I was like, "Did you hear about the Pokemon stuff?" She's like, "No, what?" And then I was showing her the Diamond and Pearl thing, and she was like, "Oh, that's cute." And I was like, "Oh, but wait." And then she was like, "Okay." And like there was like some, the trailer kind of starts off slow, and she's like, "Huh." And then when it went to like showed like the world and stuff, she was like, "No." And I was like, "Yeah, no." I'm like, yep, it's happening.
This is the Pokemon game that I don't know about y'all, but this is the Pokemon game I've always wanted.
I feel like people might be disappointed because it might not be that big. People are like, "Oh, it's like Pokemon Breath of the Wild," and I'm like, I think you guys are setting yourself up for disappointment, though.
I mean, Sword and Shield is pretty big. Maybe not filled with stuff to do, but it's pretty big.
Yeah.
And bigger isn't always better per se, because you kind of start ballooning what you have, and then that does not automatically translate into a payoff that also balloons with your expectations.
Plus, Xenoblade. Xenoblade has a pretty huge world, and that's a Wii game. So like it's
it could have ended way earlier because, man, there's a lot in that game.
Yeah. So like, hopefully it's a decent size.
real quick, I wanted to say I kind of semi-predicted this 2 years ago, where I tweeted, "My ideal Pokemon game has you exploring pre-modern times, actually discovering them and learning how to catch them, and the story would be about humanity versus nature with ruminations on religion." So, granted that we have
is God.
Exactly. So, you're welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
I tweeted a thing. I was like, Pokemon attack and capture God.
Yeah, that's basically any RPG. So yeah.
Well, not capture.
Well, in Pokemon it counts. So.
And I don't know how you guys felt. The trailer like definitely shows this game is pretty far out. Like when they say 22, like probably Christmas 22. And I don't want to say the game looks rough, but like there's some drop frames. It looks a little rough, but truly, you know, I've heard some people say like they shouldn't have showed it so early. I'm like, no, dude, this looks so great.
Yeah.
And if this is how it looks a year plus out, imagine what the game's going to be when it's actually ready.
Yeah, it shows promise.
It does look a little
not
rough.
A final product. Pokemon is usually around, I want to say, fall towards the holiday season, because that's kind of Nintendo's big. Yeah, that's kind of Nintendo's big pusher for the holiday season. Yeah, I think they have time. I don't think you should be surprised if they say, you know what, we're gonna push it a bit further back because we want to get this right. Because it seems like no matter what the Pokemon company does, there will always be a vocal minority bemoaning choice A or choice B because it's not what they expected. So it's like they can never win. They literally gave us what we wanted and we still found something to complain about. So, yeah, humans. So I say be excited for this, but also don't be surprised if it takes a lot longer than you're expecting to finish.
I could see this game being delayed into 23, but truly, I don't know how y'all feel.
I want it in 22.
I want the people working on it not to want to die when they make it.
That too. I do want that too. And if I can't have both, then I'd rather just have the people not want to die. Usually, Pokemon games aren't normally delayed, though.
No, they're usually pretty solid.
Like, plenty of Nintendo games have been delayed. I can't think of a Pokemon game that has.
Yeah, same. I don't think I can think of one either.
Yeah, I searched up Pokemon delay, and the only thing was like something about the World Championships for the TCG. So yeah, I don't think.
Oh yeah.
But I am excited for this.
Yeah, the thing about Pokemon is it's tied into so many media campaigns. Like there's probably a new season of the anime scheduled around this, like new Pokemon trading cards, other merchandise.
Well, it would be. Because they're doing Pokemon Journeys now, it would be like a Sinnoh arc for Pokemon Journeys, I'm guessing.
Or it could be tied into one of the movies, like a new Arceus movie, maybe.
True.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. The theory I had is if Pokemon Legends became a sub-series, if they did a Pokemon... So you know how they're doing the Diamond and Pearl remakes, and then they're doing Pokemon Legends Arceus. So what if they did Let's Go Johto or Let's Go Meryl and Togepi or whatever, and then they did Pokemon Legends Ho-Oh or something? Because there's that whole lore with the burnt tower. So you could make a game out of like what happened back then.
Yeah,
interesting.
It could totally go down that route, I think.
The interesting thing though would mean there would be new they'd technically be new forms, but they'd be the old forms of Raikou, Suicune, and Entei. Because the forms that we know them as weren't originally what they looked like. Because Ho-Oh brought them back to life. Or something.
Yeah. Well, it could be.
So you're saying like three main... they'll almost move to like the Call of Duty model where every other year you get like mainline and then you get like either Legends or Let's Go.
So I don't... Cause it's hard to know because of like how the pandemic has affected things. we don't know if maybe both of these games were like their production was delayed a bit and they were meant to come out in the same year, or maybe, or probably not, just because Pokemon Legends Arceus like is like
much more ambitious.
Yeah.
I think it seems like Arceus has more of a kind of like a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure stand system where you have partner Pokemon and not like a full roster of 6.
I don't know.
It looks like that, at least. It could be that the Legend series will be where the Pokemon Company experiments with like more ambitious ideas, and then you have the Let's Go or whatever series you split off into 2, kind of to satiate the core fan base, as it were.
Pokemon lore can be very interesting and also terrifying.
Definitely terrifying.
So really weird, like the whole thing where there's like a Sinnoh legend where it's like Pokemon and humans originally evolved from the same species, and before the split completely happened, people in Pokemon used to get married, and it's like, I don't know.
That's
about
why
that.
Mr. Mime is hanging out with Ash's mom.
I mean, there's even some cool lore, like think of Cubone, right? Like Cubone's story is that it wears its mother's skull on its head, right?
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, Cubone was originally going to be like a pre-evolution for Kangaskhan. And even if you look at early designs, it even shows like that's even more evidence of how they were once related.
I could still see that happening.
But the Pokemon marriage thing is like way further in the past than this Arceus game, so I don't think we have to worry about that.
But yeah, they're not gonna put that in a kid's game.
Yeah,
don't worry.
But hey, they put lore about Balloon Ghost kidnapping kids and never coming back. So I mean,
sure, but you don't hear about kids talking on the playground about like obscure death cults within the Pokemon
the specific lore.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people brought up a point. I wonder how many Sinnoh Pokemon aren't actually originally native to Sinnoh then, or like maybe because Galarian forms and Alolan forms have been a thing, maybe those are their. What we know of Sinnoh Pokemon now are their Sinnohan forms or Sinnohan form. I'm not sure what the pronunciation is, but
more than likely.
But yeah, so what if there are like, because it's far enough in the past that we could be seeing different forms of Pokemon we think of as Sinnoh native.
It could. I think you might even see more prehistoric like Pokemons. Like
if there are new forms or anything like that at all.
Yeah, or maybe being a prehistoric Pokemon is like the new power up for the Legend series.
Oh, like the primal, like the power ups from.
Yeah, exactly. Like Primal.
Well, I think that
Pikachu
would be. I don't know if that would be in Legends or if that would be in Diamond and Pearl.
I think
remake.
Like the like Diamond and Pearl remake. The remakes from here on out are gonna be what you need to like complete your Pokédex, and the Legends are where they just go ham with the storytelling and the gameplay.
Yeah, I also wonder if. Do you guys think Legends will have voice acting? Because Sword and Shield seemed like a lot of scenes in Sword and Shield seems like they should have had voice acting in them, especially when that one gym leader was singing that song, and there was nothing.
I think it's definitely possible, especially if did the Let's Go. I haven't played Let's Go.
No
Pikachu
Pokemon games, or at least no traditional Pokemon games have had voice acting.
Yeah, I would probably say no, but like you never know. Like this game is changing a lot about the Pokemon formula. Maybe we'll finally get voice acting.
Plus, Zelda didn't have voice acting until Breath of the Wild. Well, unless you count the CDI games, but we don't count those because I mean, come on.
Yeah, we don't count those here.
They're hilarious, but I mean, you know. So I'm like, it's kind of baffling that they haven't done it yet because. just the fact that the Pokemon Company has done several different anime series. Not only have they done the currently airing Pokemon Journeys, but they did the stuff before that, as well as the web series Pokemon Twilight Wings, and Pokemon Origins and Pokemon Generations. So it's not like they couldn't do it. They have plenty of I think it's more likely for this than it has been for other games. I feel like other Pokemon games.
Yes, it's quite possible.
I kind of hope they do it, honestly. It's due time. Because this would probably be the perfect one to do it in too.
Yeah,
especially with
true.
how the trailer had a narrator and stuff. I mean, not that other Pokemon trailers didn't have narrators, but just the style it was. You know what I mean? It seems like something that. It seems like a type of game that would have voice acting in it. Just from how that trailer went.
I guess time will tell. Jacob, you had a fun question for us at the end.
Yeah, we're going a little over, so we gotta wrap it up. So, you can ask that real quick.
Yeah, let me just ask a very quick one then. Favorite Pokemon game of all time? Go.
Soul Silver, no question.
Pokemon Red.
I'm with you, Jason. Pokemon Blue is my favorite.
Get off my podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, follow-up question. Favorite evolution? Go.
Evolution?
Yeah.
Umbreon.
Jason? Are we friends here too?
None, because I like Eevee as he is.
Get off your own podcast. No, that's a good answer. I would probably go Jolteon if I was picking.
Which one?
There you go.
Oh,
Jolteon.
okay. That's a good. If I was picking one of the original three, I'd probably choose that one. As much as I love Fire types, I can't choose you, Flareon, because you're not great.
I have Arcanine, an Arcanine plushie sitting on my shelf in my office that people can see on all the Zoom calls I'm on.
For the record,
but if I had another, it would be.
For the record, my favorite Pokemon is Cyndaquil, and I have a little plush of him right here.
You wooted when we
cute.
talked about Cyndaquil earlier, so.
Yeah.
I actually have two.
I think that is...
One my friend gave me because he didn't know I had one already.
The power of friendship, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I think that was it for us this week.
Yeah, we went a little longer than we expected.
Thank you so much, Jacob, for joining us.
Yeah.
It has been a blast having you.
Yeah, you're welcome
and your
anytime.
enthusiasm, because it was really infectious and really great having you as a third member here. Where can people find you, and is there anything you're working on currently?
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at Jacob McCourt. I'm at Jacob McCourt on all major social media platforms.
We'll link it in
the
description too.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And then just the shows I do that I work on. We're in Cutscenes Season 2. It is a video game movie podcast. We just released our episode about Pixels this week.
Oh, no.
The Happy Madison movie. It's very bad. Hey, guys, do you like misogyny and video games? You're going to like Pixels.
Oof.
Oh, boy.
It's not a great movie. It's not a great movie.
Boy.
And then I do a video game podcast called the Left Behind Game Club, where we play a one game on each episode, and we try and have a positive, funny, and informative take on it. We have over 100 episodes. We've been going for years, so you can check that out too on all major social media platforms. Thank you very much for having me, Erroll and Jason.
Oh,
it was a pleasure.
Anytime.
Good luck with the many more episodes to come on your pod.
Yes, thank you very much. This has been Erroll. This has been Jason. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, stay happy, play video games, watch anime, wash your hands.
Be kind, respectful, wear a mask, etc., etc.
Yeah, we'll see.
Wash your hands, wash your butt. Go for it.
Especially your butt.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Matane.